care. Nobody want to hear your tracks.
I'm gonna make a audible on the podcast before we get to the last thing. There's been, as you know, we're in Pride Month, and Nickelodeon didn't outright say SpongeBob was gay, but they kind of like hinted that he was. I mean, SpongeBob has done gay shit since forever, so like it wouldn't be a surprise. But like, here's my thing about this. Here's my thing. He's a fucking cartoon. And if he was supposed to be gay, the creator would have put that in there from the get-go. SpongeBob been running around since '99. Why put that label on him now?
So, okay, I know what people are about to say. Oh, we need representation. Steven Universe is the gayest show ever. And they started off with, hey, all of these gems are girls, and hey, some of them are in relationships. It led with that from the beginning. Don't change shit that's been there from like, come on, bro. Don't change shit. Technically, Nickelodeon got a show with 2 dads on there.
Exactly, the Loud House, and nobody's bitching about that.
But I'm about to counter your point because, like I told you, it's asexual. Asexual is a part of Pride, right?
He's a sponge!
And sponges are asexual. In real life. Like, in real life, when they reproduce, they are asexual, bro.
They reproduce by themselves. And he said that in one of them things. I reproduced by budding or some shit like that. It's actually him saying that in one of the cartoons.
Right, so I mean, I get what you're saying about the Pride stuff. And yeah, I get...
They're pandering, bro.
Yeah, they're pandering. Yeah, I 100% agree about that pandering stuff. But... if you're going off in real life, people always want to talk about real life. If we're going to go off of real life, he's asexual. Asexual is part of the LGBTQ plus. They are part of the plus. Now, I'm not advocating for this shit because they need to stop pandering, but you got to call a spade a spade. He's a sponge. Sponges are asexual. Then you can literally look it up on Google. So he's asexual. So Pride Month.
I get that. I wholeheartedly. If they would have did that with the Loud House dads, nobody would have bitched.
Yeah, that's the problem I have. Like, I got Cora because we all knew Cora.
Exactly, Cora is gay. Like, nobody gives a fuck. There were some people who cared, but I didn't care. Like, okay, cool. She's bisexual. And then
people was like, why is Cora blah blah blah? I'm like, bro, if you actually watch Cora, one Cora is for the older kids anyway. Just like the last Airbender was for older kids.
Cora was for the kids who grew up watching Airbender, bro.
Right. literally, Cora was made because they made that terrible movie, and they said they want to retcon the movie, so therefore they made Cora. That's the only reason the Legend of Korra was made.
And she came off as tomboyish at the beginning, so like.
So it's like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all just talking at this point. Yet again, cancel culture. But I digress. Like I said, he's asexual. Yes, I don't agree with pandering. I don't agree with pandering in any fucking thing.
Exactly.
Like, Cyberpunk, they pander to me. And just people allow it because it's Project CD Red, but they fucking pander on the lowest of keys. But it is what it is.
I'm not even gonna say my 2 cents on this.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Personally, I think
the views of the Nerdbois halfway reflects Joey's. So,
Skies, go ahead. Beat go off.
Hello.
I'm up and then my heat go off. Bang! Yo, is PC restarted?
Yo, you PC.
Rabbit.
Like, nope.
Shoot it, go shoot.
Rabbit. Do you care?
About nah. Fuck that shit, bro. Like, cartoons are cartoons. Leave it at that, bro.
If you write that with the story in mind from the beginning, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care.
Right.
Steven Universe literally is one of my favorite cartoons of this generation.
Right. Don't change things 25 years later because everything else changes.
Say it again, Rabbit. Say it again for people in the back. Say it
again. Man, you can't be changing shit, bro. Keep the shit the same.
So here's my thing. I want to go back to the pander thing because Last of Us 2, in my opinion, panders. I like the game. I really like playing the game. I do really like the game, but they pander a lot. Like, it is ridiculous how much. Now I kind of see why people were bad.
On God, bro. my PC just updated a fucking piece of software I had.
Don't tell me it's Adobe Flash or some dumb shit like that.
Nah, it's a Razor program, but just yeeted me the fuck out of this bitch.
All right, so go ahead and get your points.
Anyway,
That's one
what I gotta say is, this can be very controversial.
Hey, fuck it.
Whatever, bro. We controversial anyway. Go ahead.
The LGBTQ needs to be a recognized thing, and they need to be accepted. But personally, I'm tired of that shit being shoved down my throat.
That's not controversial. That's just being honest.
Yeah, and this is gonna be my personal opinion. I have people in my life that align with that organization and believe in Pride Month and stuff like that. This is gonna be very controversial. I don't necessarily think anyone needs a Pride Month. I don't think straight people need a Pride Month. I don't think LGBTQ people need a Pride Month. Like, you're who you are. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just a big thing to me, and like shoving that shit down people's throats. So I think this big SpongeBob thing is kind of another way of just shoving that down people's throats. And then another big thing, which spoilers to whoever hasn't heard about this, but the shit that's going on in The Last of Us 2. Like, I think that's shoving that shit down people's throat as well. Like, and I'm personally not okay with it. I don't have a problem with people who align that way and people who have those beliefs or are that way or whatever. My beliefs are the way that they are, and I don't need to defend those or talk about those with anyone. But you are literally pushing this shit on people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just don't think that's okay. I think people should be able to live their lives and, you know, be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And now you're taking something that has been founded in reality and has been a certain way for so long and just completely changing it. Like AK and them said, there are shows that literally have that shit in it, and I'm not bitching about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally a part of that show, and I don't have a fucking problem with that. But when you come to me as a cartoon that I watched on a fucking wood panel fucking TV with dials on it back in 1999, bro, 2000, like, and you're trying to change it now, that's not okay with me, for one. And for two, then you add The Last of Us, that shit, and you're taking a game that had completely nothing to fucking do with that. Like, you know, like...
yeah, it kind of did. When
Ellie was gay in the first place.
Ellie was gay. Ellie was gay, and I give you that. But my big thing is like the whole sex scene situation didn't need to happen. It doesn't.
No, okay, yeah. Let me. I ain't trying to cut you off.
I mean, what's the difference between that sex scene and the God of War sex scene from back in the day on PS2,
bro? Because I didn't agree with that either. Like, it doesn't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be there. It doesn't have to exist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like replace it with like an Adam and Eve type of thing. I'm saying it just doesn't have to fucking be there. So, like, that's kind of shoving that down people's throats. Especially, you got to think, what about people who are fans of the series but don't like that aspect? Okay, like, now you're shoving it down their throat.
Here's my thing, and then I'm gonna let you go, Rondo.
All right.
You can't tell a creator how to create their shit. My only gripe with the LGBTQ was when they forced change on shit that originally wasn't there. Like I said, I love Steven Universe. It's one of the best cartoons as far as like storyline and plot as wise it goes, especially when it's made for little kids. Like, I don't mind Cam watching it. Like, matter of fact, he avidly wants to watch that with me. But when you change shit, it's the same thing. It's the same thing when they was like, we're gonna make 007 black now. Okay, but why?
Even black people's like, why?
Like, why? It was like, we're gonna make Captain America black now. Okay, but why? Like Falcon was his own character. Why does he need to be Captain America now? Like,
well, that at least on that one, at least they had already did Captain America as Falcon at some point. So that
I'm talking about when they first showed it up in the comic books. I'm not talking about in the movies.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I was like that in the comic books. I'm like, Falcon's been his own thing for a while. Why does he have to be Captain America now?
I think it's because he was doing that, so Captain America saw him fit as the next Captain America.
Yeah, Captain had to retire.
I don't think the fact that he was black or white or whatever he was at the time made a difference to Captain America. It's just Captain America was looking for his replacement, and he was there. He was the best next choice for Captain America.
I agree with that statement.
Okay, I give you that. But like, don't change established characters just to pander to people, because then at that point you were doing exactly that, pandering. I get what you're saying, Joey. You would prefer not to see that because it just makes you feel some type of way or whatever. I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm paraphrasing now, but I get that. But at the same time, as I would like to consider myself an ally to the LGBTQ, it doesn't bother me. Just don't change shit. That's like saying if they would have came out and said, "Oh, Ed from Ed and Eddie is gay." What is that doing for anybody?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, what is my big thing is what is that doing for anybody?
But the thing is already
listen to me. Ellie's already gay, right? She has a girlfriend, whatever. Like, that's cool. But what I'm saying is, personally, in my opinion, that just doesn't need to exist in general. Like, I'm not saying replace it with a regular sex scene. I'm not saying do any of that. I'm saying, but it just doesn't need to be there. Like, in my opinion, that's forcing even people that are like might be somewhat comfortable into an uncomfortable area with it, because they just might not want to see that. Like, they might be okay with it, and people who are that way, but like, I don't even like sex scenes in general in movies. I'm just like, okay, like, why does this even need to be here? Like,
okay, all right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my big thing, is like, it doesn't need to be there. And people who are even like somewhat comfortable with that shit are probably not going to be comfortable seeing that. Like, and I thought about starting. That's
what the rating board is for. It says sexual things, and it's an M-rated game. So, like,
right,
you know what you're getting into before you get into it.
Like, okay, so I want to.
Go ahead, Chrono.
So I'm actually playing the game. Everybody knows this.
How the fuck did we get here from SpongeBob, bro?
Because
I brought it up because it was a segue into that topic.
Yeah. So here's my problem. Don't get me wrong. I like Abby. I like Abby as a character. A lot of people hate her because she is trans, but I like her as a character, you know. But what I don't like is when he's talking about pandering in that game. Something that Ellie and Dina do like every 2 seconds is it's like they gotta flirt and flirt and flirt and flirt and flirt.
When it's obviously forced.
Yeah, it's obviously forced, and that's the problem I have. Because like even in games where you have like League of Legends literally have 2 characters that's a couple, and they don't flirt like those 2 do. Right. Like, it's every 2 seconds, bro. Like,
how like Tracer's done. She's gay, but she doesn't throw it down your face.
Exactly. That's
and like it starts even with Abby, because another thing that they don't talk about, that one of the male characters is down low. He's down low. So like it was something where she was like, "Yo, don't make me put my foot up your ass," and he's like, "I might like that. Stop flirting with me." And I'm like, "Bro, you don't have to pander to understand that these characters might be LGBTQ. We understand that Abby is transsexual. We understand that, okay, she has a relationship with a man. Like, they did it perfect by him saying like, yo, you know, I got this chick pregnant. You know, I think it would be unsafe if we brought everybody to the city, right?" And she was mad. She was mad. So I understand, like, that said, wait, okay, they were in a relationship, he did something. She feels some type of way. Fine. Leave that alone right there. Ellie gets with Dina. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, as Dina, I don't like her. And honestly, a lot of people ain't gonna say that. They kind of demean her because she kind of genital swap. She genital swap. She literally was sleeping with the homeboy, and then a week later started sleeping with Ellie. Like,
I mean,
people don't talk about that.
being bisexual is a thing, bro. There's people.
I know. I'm hip with that. I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but you kind of, while trying to prove a point, you kind of make your homegirl look like a hoe. No disrespect, but you kind of do. You kind of make her look like a winner.
If it's in the apocalypse, I can give a fuck less about relationships. We got zombies worried about. If I'm not already in a relationship before the zombie apocalypse, if I want to fuck, I'm fucking, bro. Like,
I digress. I get how people feel. You know, I get how people.
I get both sides.
I get both sides, but like I said, my problem is, don't pander too much. But at the same time, if you ain't giving the game a chance, why are you speaking on it? Because there's a lot of people that are, this game is trash.
Talking shit about the game, but never was going to play it.
I'm like, bro, I don't like hearing Ellie and Dina flirt all the time. I'm like, I made a joke about it. I'm like, yo, y'all flirt like me. When I'm flirting to these females, like, I'm flirting all the time. And I'm like, it might be something in me, and I will admit that as a man, it might be something in me that I don't want to hear people constantly flirting. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the game is still good. The gameplay is solid. The game moves, it tells its story pretty well. Well.
My big thing is your point was like people talking but not giving the game a chance. Mm-hmm. Now that particular thing, I won't play the game because of it, and that's my problem.
No, I understand.
You have every right to say that. You have every right to say that, but don't buy the shit and then bitch about it. That's what.
That's what I mean.
And that's my biggest point. If anyone is to understand, there's probably a lot of people that are going to take what I'm saying in a wrong light. If we just simplify this and you understand what I'm saying to a fundamental level. I'm a person that tries to be an understanding person, right? I have someone very close to me in my life, everyone knows who it is, who is a part of that community, and I try to understand. It's very hard for me, and I don't agree with a lot of things. But that is my personal opinion, right? But I don't hate on people, and I don't anything. I'm still going to accept you, like, for who you are, even if I don't agree with what it is. So being a person that is very borderline on that, and like my ideologies don't line up with that. Now there was a game where, like, you know, okay, if there's a little bit of that going on, you know, I'm not gonna have a problem with it. But when you add that huge aspect of what I was just talking about, like, now personally, I don't want to play the game anymore because, like, you're taking me out of my comfort level. You know what I'm saying? You're shoving it down my throat.
Like, just how some people don't like Mortal Kombat.
That's why I like
war.
That's why I'm saying, like, I want to make sure that people know, like, I'm not trying to say, like, replace it with like an Adam and Eve sex scene or anything like that. Just doesn't need to be there in fucking general. Like, I would rather if it's
have every right to feel that way, Joey. Because there's some people who don't like Mortal Kombat just because of the blood and gore. Period.
Right, exactly.
There's some people who don't like. There's some people who don't like God of War because of how he treats women. Right, and that's fine. Exactly. They're not gonna buy it, just like they don't buy Mortal Kombat. That's fine. You can be like that. But what the problem is when you saying just what you said. I don't. That's not for me. I don't like that. People will take that as, oh, he's homophobic.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to get the point across. I don't have a problem with that. There's a borderline for me.
I also see the other side. Being a black boy growing up and watching cartoons and stuff, it was rare to find somebody who looked like me on the TV screen. We had Static, the Black Green. We had Static Shock, the Black Green Lantern, and Zach from Power Rangers.
No, the only Green Lantern, motherfucker. The only Green Lantern. There's no Black Green Lantern. There is the only Green Lantern.
Hey, look. John Stewart's my guy. But we had that.
Technically, Johnny.
Johnny who?
Johnny from Ed and Eddie. Technically.
Every time I came out,
actually, no. We had
Cyborg.
Yeah. But it was very few. You see how hard it is for us to see how many people that looks like us. Take that, and I take that same token, and how many people have you know growing up that was gay as far as like cartoons was why? How many people you know that was gay?
Right. And now let me counteract that.
But he was like a stereotype.
Now let me counteract that. You didn't have a lot of people to look for in those type of aspects, but you didn't have none for one, and for two, it didn't go from that to watching colored people fuck each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's different. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole space you jumped over.
True.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's a difference between acceptance and allowing people to get used to it, and pushing and advocating for that shit and going too far. And for me, that's the line.
Well,
that's my point.
I get what you're saying. We got one more.
It's like a debate. It got to be a debate for another day. Maybe we'll make that like a separate topic.
It could be a separate video.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those sensitive type videos. Some people,
and that's the problem, and the reason why I didn't want to say anything in the first place is because people,
you don't want that. You don't like that. It's not because you don't like the fact that they're gay. You just don't like the fact that they're doing that in the video game. I understand that. Just like some people don't like the fact there's blood and gore in Mortal Kombat. It's literally the same fucking thing. But
but we all know there's a lot.
I know I haven't been talking, but I don't disagree with you either. Like, it's not like if I like the game, it's not gonna stop me from buying the game. But I see where you're coming from, where because you know what's in there, you're not gonna buy the game. I don't hate you for it.
Exactly.
You're
exactly.
cool.
But the big thing is there's a lot of people that will hear exactly what I say and not listen to what I say. They will hear it, not listen to it, and be like, he's against LGBTQ or whatever. And
Joey,
that's the problem.
What you call a vocal minority.
Yeah,
yep.
True.
Yep.
Look, at the end of the day, y'all know how Nerdbois rock. Y'all know we defend any and everybody and welcome any and everybody. If you have a problem with what any of us say, you can contact us on the Nerdbois podcast Facebook channel.
We're pretty active on there.
If you have a problem with what we say, you come to the comment section. You think you're gonna?
We all have Twitters. We all have
YouTube pages.
There's a YouTube page. There's an IG page. So if you have some grievance, you can put in the comment section somewhere. We'll get to it.